Oh, I think we're live. Hang on. Okay. I think we're finally live. So if you can see me, let me know. Um, I'm praying this is working. Oh, and I gotta get these things off. All right. If somebody shows up, lets me know I'm live, then I will explain. But until I'm just gonna chitty chat all by myself, which will be really weird, but oh shoot. Not sure what's gonna happen here, but I'll see what I can do. All right, so we are going to make beef Wellington bites today. We're going to make some grain-free pastry here. I'm going to put in 1.5 cups of almond flour, 1/4 cup of chickpea flour. We've got some cold unsalted butter here. And there we go. Alrighty, we're going to chunk this up into smaller pieces. Pop that in there. I don't know if anybody's going to come in. I don't know if I'm doing this right. If I am, hooray. If I'm not, oh well. I apologize if somehow I disconnected from the live, and now the chat's not working. I don't even know anymore. So if anybody's out there, please let me know. And if not, I'll just be doing this for nobody, which is fine. Let's see here. Okay, this isn't for this. Oh, that's for the puff pastry. I'll be right back. I got to change something real quick. So we are adjusting the temperature. I didn't realize. Oops, we're going down, not up. So I'm a little discombobulated. We'll see how it goes. Gonna give a little stir here. And I'm gonna turn this off. I've been cooking ahead of time. I don't do that too much, but I am today. So I'm also flying solo. I think I'm live. It says I'm live. Just trying to figure it all out, friends. I don't know if anybody's going to make it in today because I wasn't here when I was supposed to be. So I'm going to turn this on. And that butter's going to incorporate in there. Turn that off for a second. I'm going to add the egg. So there we go. So, hey, Christy, yay. I was having technical difficulties, so I'm in here very, very late. So I'm glad to see that somebody can actually see what I'm doing. I'm currently making some grain-free pastry for our beef Wellington bites up there. It has been a crazy 24 plus hours. I think this is actually coming together pretty well. I may not even need to add. I got a little milk in case I need it. I don't think I'm going to need it, to be honest. It's going right into a lovely little dough ball. Okay. All right. Oh, that's gorgeous. Okay. I love it when it works. Okay, so Christy, you may have to hear this more than once, but here's the scoop on what's been going on. My oldest and my youngest are currently on their way to Atlanta. They ended up leaving late, but hopefully they'll make their second flight. They're going to have like maybe 30 minutes to get to their plane. We'll see. But yes, so IT guy, he's my youngest. And my oldest are in the air as we speak. They are on their way to Atlanta, final destination San Francisco. And then IT guy will be staying with my middle guy. They'll be staying with his and taking care of his dog. My oldest will be driving cross country from San Francisco to Minneapolis with my middle and his wife. So his wife got her stitches out of her leg, and they cleared her to travel. So that was beautiful. That was a lovely thing. So last night we got on a phone call, as you do, and actually we got on this. We had a family Zoom call. So we had a family Zoom call, and while we were having this family Zoom call, we got my son. So my youngest is flying to San Francisco. He's staying there. They flew out of Columbus, Ohio, to Atlanta, then to San Francisco. From there, my youngest will fly home to Cincinnati. My oldest will drive to Minneapolis, and he will fly home to Columbus on Sunday night. So yeah, yes, I will. As my middle said, there will be little to no rest for him and his wife until they get to Minneapolis. So they are getting there tonight around 8 o'clock, maybe a little later, and then my son has a meeting in the morning, and then they're going to take off. So it's a whole thing, but they are on their way. And I think my daughter-in-law was kind of shocked. Number one, at how quickly and easily we got everything done, got the flights booked, we got hotels reserved, we got all the stuff. And then it was just done. It was done. And, you know, sometimes there's unsung heroes in all of this. And one of the unsung heroes in all of this is my other daughter-in-law, because my oldest and his family were taking off for a long weekend with his wife's family. And, well, her mom and two sisters. Her dad's working out of the state as well. But so they had a family trip. And my poor granddaughter this morning, when we took my son up, she was so sad because her daddy wasn't going with them. So, you know, and she's 7. So she understands, but she doesn't understand, if that makes sense. You know what? I'll just use a paper towel. Here we go. Forgot to get the cutter out that I need. So I'll just wipe it off. So anyway, yeah, it's a whole thing. But then my husband and I had to get up this morning early, and we needed to leave to get IT guy up to Columbus so that they could fly out. And then their flight was delayed. So oh my God, she broke my heart. My little granddaughter, she was just so heartbroken that her daddy, she was looking so forward to having her daddy for the weekend and I mean, my son is very involved in his kids' lives. I do love that. If the younger generation has figured out anything, they have figured that part out. And I mean, it helps that he's got a great job and he's got really good benefits and all that stuff. But, well, hopefully that's going to work. I'm just pressing those in there. They're very, usually gluten-free flours are really, usually very dry, and this is far from dry. So hopefully it won't dry out. So appreciate that, Christy. It's been a whirlwind, that's for sure. So I am. Yeah, I think that size is better. So I got back here. It was almost 2 o'clock, and so I'm flying solo for the first time ever. And IT guy is not known for his detail orientation, and so when I was trying to follow his directions, I got a little lost. So I think I've got it now. I'll probably do much better on Monday. Plus, on Monday, IT guy will actually be on with us, so he'll be listening from California, but he'll be part of the conversation anyway. And just a little bit of craziness. And you know what? Considering what's going on, and that was the other thing. We can't really tell my 7-year-old granddaughter what's completely going on. Because, 7-year-olds don't need to be saddled with that information. So we just told her that her aunt's sister is very sick. And if her little brother was very sick, she'd want to be with him. So, hey, Ruby, welcome in. So, just discussing the day. I started about 15 minutes late because I couldn't figure out IT guy's instructions. He's in the air, so I can't get a hold of him. So my boys are on the way to help their own brother. It's kind of cool that the reason stinks, but to see your kids be good humans is always a wonderful thing. And that's the part I'm gonna take away from this, is that my kids are being great humans to one another. I'm sure there will be some goofiness because I know my kids. So we were discussing on the drive back for my daughter-in-law that's going to be traveling with my older two. I'm like, she's either going to have the time of her life and laugh herself silly, or she's going to be traumatized. If you raise boys, you know. She has one sister and one sister only, and I mean they've got their moments, but my boys are something. I'm telling you, they are. In some ways, they're a chip off the old block, and so I have to take some credit or blame or whatever you want to call it for that. They are quite sarcastic. Like, well, they come by that naturally, so. And I try to hold my sarcasm to a minimum. The funny thing is, they're very sarcastic, but the minute I say something sarcastic, they're like, oh, Mom! I'm like, where do you think you guys got this from? It wasn't your father. They clutch their pearls. It's hilarious. So that's the other thing too. We are, and I know my kids will know better. They will know how to read the room. But yes, I agree. I like being a boy mom. I think it's awesome. I don't think it's better than being a girl mom. It's just different, and I enjoyed it fully. I always say there's more danger and less drama. That's kind of how it was, at least for me. So, and watching my grandson yesterday, we're watching their dog. So everybody's doing a little something. I've got their dog while my daughter-in-law and the kids are on their weekend, and my son's doing his good deeds. So I currently have 3 dogs, and my thoughts on those 3 dogs are this. I love those 3 dogs. I do not love having 3 dogs. You can keep it. So I don't really enjoy having 2 dogs, to be honest, but we ended up with our second one. She belonged to my oldest, and she she didn't do real well with a baby in the house. So we ended up with her. And my son called, and I finally said to him at one point, I said, "Are you asking me to find the dog a home, or are you asking me to take the dog?" And he's like, "If you could keep the dog, then I'd get to see her." I was like, "All right, fine." So that's how we ended up with the second dog. But, and I love dogs, and I love this dog. But again, 3 dogs, wait, that's too many in my opinion. So, hey, Joan. Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. I'm flying solo today, and IT guy is heading to Atlanta as we speak with his oldest brother, on their way to be with the middle one. So, doing what they do. And so I was trying to set this all up with IT guy's instructions. He's not known for his details. And one of his instructions I was flummoxed. And I could not get this stream to come up. So anyway, my apologies that I was late. Getting started. Right now we're getting this pastry dough into the molds here. Hopefully we can get enough I think we're going to have enough. Even if we only have like 12 or so, it'll still be something. I'm just trying to get them in the little holders. And again, a lot of this stuff I had hoped to have done earlier. But, I didn't get home till like 1:45 from dropping my son off in Columbus. So, stuff happens. But it was nice to be able to thank my other daughter-in-law for helping take care of my younger daughter-in-law, because I've had to do what she did and take kids on vacation without my husband, or have him meet us there or whatever. Now her whole family will be there, so she'll have plenty of help. But lots of holidays and lots of vacations, because my husband traveled for work. I ended up putting everything together myself, and then the boys would help me load up the car or whatever we were taking, the van, or whatever we were doing, getting ready to fly. Our last one, and after years you get a sense, right? Thanks, Christy. After years you kind of get a sense of things, and my husband was working in Dallas, and Christmas was coming, and I just knew. I said, "Buddy," "we need to schedule a vacation in December," something we never did back then. And he's like, "Why do you want to do that?" And I said, "Because I'm telling you, if we don't schedule a vacation, you're going to be working up until Christmas, and I'm afraid you're not going to make it home." So he was like, "If you insist, we'll do this." He'd been gone for months. So, and when I say he did come home for some weekends, he wasn't gone like nonstop. But I said, we need to schedule this. My brother lives in Florida, so we scheduled a visit with him. And we had all of our plane reservations, and sure enough, 2 days before he was supposed to leave on vacation, they're like, "Well, could you stay a little longer?" And he's like, "Nope, sorry guys, I got a week of vacation scheduled. I'll be back after the new year." And he left that Friday, and we had our week of vacation, and on the 23rd, they had asked him to stay. We came home on the 22nd. On the 23rd of December that year, they had an ice storm in Dallas. And guess what? The airport was closed until Christmas Day. So I was like, "See, I told you." And that's when my husband, when I have these little like thoughts like that, and that's when he goes, "You're a witch." And he doesn't mean it in the bad sense. He just is like, How did you know that? I'm like, I don't know. Call it intuition. I was like, I did not want to spend Christmas without you. So, oh, I have no idea if this pastry is going to turn out. Pastry's not usually this juicy. And it is. It's kind of wet. So I got my last couple here, and then we're going to pop these in the oven for about 5 minutes, see what happens. They may be garbage. Who knows? If they are, so be it. We'll figure out something to do with that filling. All right, see if I can get one more out of this. I mean, look how... feels like there's too much butter, and that's a weird thing when you're doing gluten-free pastry. Usually, if anything, it's dry as a bone. So I will be really interested to see how this is going to soak up if this pastry ends up being really good. I would be delighted. All right. And I didn't even need to use the milk. So that's mind-blowing. Okay, so we ended up with that batch. We have, and these are mini cupcake. 16, 17, 18, 19. I have 19. I could maybe get a 20th out of this one. Let's see. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That one's going to be really thin, I think. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. And like I said, we're going to pop that in the oven for about 5 minutes. Because it burns faster, they tell you. I'm going to do this in the oven. I've got the big oven because I've got my big, this won't fit in here. So I'm going to pop this in the big oven on 350 for about 5 minutes. So, oof. Okay, so next, this thing's really greasy. Put this over on. All right, I got to let these dogs in before they mess up my house. So hopefully, come on, you goobers. Hopefully they'll behave themselves. Again, this is what happens when you're kind of flying on your own. If it was just my two, I would normally put them upstairs, and I will probably do that next week. But they got up this morning. They were up for like an hour, and then we had to put them back in the room. And I'm a bit of a sap that way. I couldn't put them back in the room for 4 more hours. It just felt cruel. So, yes, in some ways, I'm just a marshmallow. But moving on. Okay. And I'll get you to move out of there. They don't like the fan. Okay. Don't need that anymore. But I do need my recipe. So, hi Dorothy, welcome in. We are making beef Wellington bites today. And I'm going to pull out my handy dandy. Oh. Next, we move to the heating element. Oh, here they go. Stop. Stop. Thank you. Sorry, didn't mean to yell. But that's what works with him. You don't need to bark at the wind. I know you think you do, but you don't. Okay. So, next, we're going to work on this stuff. That goes there. These go there. Actually, before we do that, just to get one more thing out of the way, I am going to make a sauce that goes on top really quickly. I'll be able to get some things out of the way when I do that. So now here's the deal. Horseradish. My husband, I cannot make it strong enough for him. I can make it too strong for me. So we will compromise and we'll do it my way. And then he can add more if he wants later. So it's my son's dog. He's a dream. No, he's a sweet dog. He's just a goofball. So No, I would not eat dog, not knowingly anyway. So I need, okay, you can use sour cream. I'm using Greek yogurt. That's what I do. All right, got to mix it up a little bit because some of the liquid has disengaged, if you will. So I need a couple tablespoons of that. And then a couple tablespoons of mayonnaise. That's enough, Bo. I know there's none. Because last time you came in, when you were hot, you overdid it. And he got sick all over my living room floor. It was gross. We're not going to talk about it. That's as much as I'm going to say. And then it calls for a teaspoon of horseradish. I'll use a little bit more than that. Hopefully it won't knock my socks off. But that, if I can stand it, I'll put more in. I'll put as much as I can stand. And then this one, which I thought was really interesting, calls for a half a teaspoon of honey. So I'm going to try it without the honey first. Can definitely put more horseradish in there. All right. Interesting. Oh, you're going to have to let us know about that. That's nice. So this is the sauce. Rather than using sour cream for the sauce, I'm using this. I think I can actually do a little tiny bit more horseradish for me. This is a really mild horseradish batch. You know what I learned about horseradish? This was a long time ago. One of Mr. 513's coworkers raises, he has a farm. And one of the things he grows is horseradish. And when the horseradish is grown, actually can help determine how hot it is. So if you grow it, if you start it early and harvest it early, it'll be more mild. Where if you start it later and let it go longer, I'm not sure why you would put any honey in there. I don't want to ruin it. I like it just the way it is. So I'm going to leave it the way it is. So anyway, we're going to set that aside because stuff like that flavors meld for a while. And if you can leave them to just sit, they get even better. So we are going to, I'm going to go put my things on. And if you were here yesterday, like I said, thought IT guy was going to be here. He would not even want to try these things if they had mushrooms in them. We made one and we did the mushroom duxelle and the whole 9 yards. And this I've had cooking. I got my onions cooked down. They were starting to brown, so I had to turn them off. And then, what was I saying? I don't even remember what I was saying now. Oh well, just that quick. It goes out the brain some days. So I've got about 8 ounces of a beef tenderloin. I'm going to cut that up real quick. Wash my hands off and try to touch my mouth because I know people will have a fit. Okay. You know what? Actually, before I do the beef tenderloin, I'm going to do the I thought it said, oh, honey, don't do it. I was like, do what? What'd I do? Oh, Joan, thanks for that. I needed a laugh. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna leave the honey be, but I am gonna take this prosciutto and I'm gonna chop it up into smaller pieces. Which worked out since I used some of it yesterday. By the way, Mr. 513 absolutely enjoyed the flatbread. IT guy said it was a little eggy. So, but I think we all agreed that next time, if we were going to do it, we would put it on a regular cookie sheet and we would make it thinner, because I made that second one and it was much better being much thinner. So there you go. Alrighty. We're going to add, let's see. We've got those going. So we've got our prosciutto that we're going to add in there. I'm going to go check on the, see how we're doing. Oh dear. Okay, they are bubbling up. So I am going to pull those out. I'm going to wash my hand here real quick. Because we do have to put them back in with the Wellington filling in there. So I'm going to pull those out and let them sit for a few minutes. They smell good. Alrighty, I'm going to grab the spoon that I was using. Anything to save a few dishes, you know what I'm saying? All right, stir that in. I'm betting we're going to have filling left over too, so that'll be fun. We'll have to figure out something to do with that. Maybe over the weekend. So this will be the longest that Mr. 513 and I have been in the house together, just the two of us, since IT guy started college in the fall of 2018. So it's been a while. Actually, since he got out of college, because he had to come home. Well, he started 2019. He started 2019 at home. So yeah, he just had the 2018-2019 season, if you will, to he was not ready to be on his own, and he figured that out, and I'm really proud of him that he was able to figure that out on his own. And where? Oh, there it is. Garlic. Don't want to forget that. All right, turn this down a little bit. I'm going to add the Dijon mustard in this way. Like I said, this is much easier than making the whole thing. Got to clean that off. So that one's not going back in the fridge until it gets cleaned up. You know what? I'm going to put a little more than that. I think it's called for 2 tablespoons, not 1. So actually, what it called for, now that I think about it, it said to take this and brush the insides of the pastry, which would most certainly work. I just didn't want to do it. Would have taken too long. I might do it for my, okay. I will move some things out of the way. These need to go in anyway. That's why I was trying to finish some things up. So thanks for letting me know that you guys can't see. Also, where's my other sprig of thyme? Ah, there it is. Rather than putting thyme into it, I'm just going to flavor it with some thyme. Oh, that smells amazing. Anybody else like the smell of mustard when it cooks? I do. I'm not a huge fan of mustard, but I think this will be really nice. Okay, so just got that one sprig, and then I'm going to put these to the side. I'm going to pull this over here. Hopefully you guys can see better now. That can go in there. And since we're dealing with meat, you're welcome. Thanks for letting me know, Ed. I appreciate it. Oh, nice. There you go. I have to be careful. My family, I love Greek food. My family, not as much. So it's just, I don't know. It's just a thing they're not used to. All right, this has a piece of the silver skin on it, so I'm going to just cut this down differently than I would have normally. I'm not going to be able to get really good half-inch cubes necessarily out of this, but that's okay. I'm going to tell you right now, Mr. 513 and I, you cannot make it. Yes, you can. But you can barely make it too rare for the two of us. Yeah, mustardy lemony potatoes. That sounds amazing. Speaking of which, I am going to attempt a deviled egg potato salad next week. So we'll talk about that. I'm hoping my zucchini lasts because I have a bunch of it and nobody ended up taking it. So I am going to make, Monday's probably just going to be like zucchini day, to be honest with you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off because it's hot. And everything's cooked in there now. We're just going to warm everything in the... I'll cut down this tenderloin into some more little squares. I don't want any of that really hard to chew fat in there. So we'll trim that out. I'm sure my dogs are like, we'll eat it. No, you won't. One of my dogs, well, my son's dog has a lot of allergies, so they don't get a lot of treats. But cool. There you go. Well, maybe we'll try that one of these days. That's always fun to make. Okay, now let's get this guy dealt with. Okay. Hey, I got a question for you guys. I recently found out, not recently, but once my kids were well grown and out of college. And I found out that a lot of parents who have adult children still track their children on their phones. I'm just curious. Are you one of those parents? Do you track your child on their phone? I have one child who said, you do that, I'm turning my phone off and I will never turn it on again. And I said, well, here's the thing. In this day and age, I said, for one, two of them are married. I'm like, if you guys should be tracking each other. And so, but with my kids traveling, we did ask them. We said, look, for a while you're gone, since one of them is going to be driving cross country and the other one's in a city he's unfamiliar with and he has a medical condition and he doesn't have a spouse. We were like, it would really be nice if you guys would share your locations with us. So if something would happen, we can find you. So, because now whether there's a cell signal or not is a whole different thing. But where my older two will be traveling, there's a lot of area they're going to be driving through that's not well populated. So there you go. Okay. Well, and that's what we told them. We were like, we wouldn't do it. I would have in college if I could have when they were younger. And I thought about it with the youngest, but he lived with his brother. So I knew we would find out quickly if he was missing or something. So But you see, I also think sometimes, and I know people would call me sexist for it, but I do find that the ones who do track their children tend to be more mothers, tend to be daughters more than sons. And you know what? If that makes you feel better, especially if you don't live near your child, I understand it. So, all right, there's our beef tenderloin. This calls for a little bit of salt and pepper. Yeah, I exactly, Ruby. Exactly. If I had a daughter, I would think I would be more inclined. And I understand their reasoning. So, and I also, one of my daughter-in-laws, her parents track her, but where my son calls home every week, she will go a couple, 3 weeks without talking to her parents. Not right now because her sister's sick, but back in the day when they first moved out there, they're like, okay, let us track your phone because we just want to know that you're alive and moving. So pull that little piece of, I'll pull some of the time off of the strands, but it's had its time to cook. All right. Now we're going to assemble some. Put that aside. How am I going to do this? Throw that and that away. So can go out of the way here. Smells so good. Right out of my garden. Woohoo! Okay, I'm going to put this to the side because these go on the top. Don't even think about it. And I'm going to see if I need a hot plate, which I probably do. Nope, I don't actually. They're not hot enough. Well, you know what? I want to put a towel underneath. It doesn't need a full hot plate, but it's warm. And again, the tablecloth is new, so we don't want to mess it up. Okay, so they're par baked, not fully baked. Okay. I'm thinking, let's see here. I'm going to use one of my little scoops here. I think that'll go faster. Let's not slide off, okay? Just because we really don't need that kind of shenanigans going on. Sorry, I've kind of lost track of things. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a lot of times it's the people like, I didn't track my son. So anyway, there you go. Yeah, it does. It depends on the kid. That's for sure. So anyway, you know what? I'm here for the people. Ed, I love it that you're saying that. I appreciate you. So we'll fill these guys up. We're working on it, friends. We're getting there slow but sure. And I'm not mad about that because I've seen people have meteoric rises and then they have the falls are sometimes just as spectacular and really detrimental to their mental health. So I'm growing slow. IT guy and I, we have some ideas of what we might do in the future. I have, oh, you guys, I don't know about you, but I love an appetizer. These kind of things make me so happy. When my kids were little, every once in a while, we would have what we called fun finger food night for dinner, and we would just make appetizers, and that was dinner. And they loved that. They still do that. So we I'm going to, especially when the holidays come, I'm going to be doing a lot of appetite. I'll be doing at least 1 or 2 a week so that we all have some really great ideas. If you have some ideas, I would love to get them from you. I might do a couple of subscriber only lives where we do things like that, where we have like brainstorm sessions and decide like, what do we want to make? Do we want to make this thing? Do we want to make that thing? If some of you guys want to come on, you don't even have to be seen. You can keep, we might try to figure out a way where like you can be on the stream and you can tell me how to make something that's like your pet thing, if you will. So, all right, there's some of our filled ones. Like I said, there's going to be just a few bites left. And then, and those who've been around know how I feel about I think it should all be collaborative, don't you? So, hey, Mama Bear, welcome in. So, yeah, this one I thought was really fun, and I actually just went online and started looking. And I'm not a huge fan of AI, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I did use AI and said, okay, what if I want to make holiday appetizers? And it gave me such a good list. Some of them I won't make, I mean, you can't expect it to be 100% perfect, right? So, but I was really rather delighted with what they came up with. And I would love to have some of you guys weigh in on it. So I'm thinking about maybe doing a non-cooking live where we just talk about it, and say, okay, if I'm going to make these things, what would you like to see? And if you're a subscriber, then I can make it subscriber only content. That way we won't get any weirdos to come in. So I think that would be fun. Oh, I might make this work out just about right. That would be great. So, okay, and then we're going to pop these back in for about 5 minutes. I don't need quite that much meat on that one. That's a little excessive. That's okay. We don't mind a little excessive, do we? A little bit of luxury. Just so we don't have to be stingy anywhere else. That's all. So, and frankly, if we've got people who celebrate other holidays, I would love to. I'll tell you something I've always wanted to learn how to make. And I don't know, I'd have to make it gluten free now, but I always thought like there's things called like noodle kugel. That sounds like a really fun dish. Trying to think what else. There's something else from like Hanukkah. Latkes, of course, but latkes are like latke's one of those things like every family has a recipe. So I know that for sure. I'm going to pop these guys. They go back in the oven for about 5 or 6 minutes. So I'm going to pop them in. And no, like I said, this isn't hot, but I know me, and I've been known to touch the side of the stove without doing that. So, alrighty. So those are in the oven. Whew! It is warm in this kitchen. We still have the nice weather outside, which is lovely. And since I've got a little second here, I am going to check the time to make sure I don't overcook them. But I've got a spoon here. I'm going to taste the filling. See how that... I think so. I love having conversations. And, several of the people on here live in different parts of the country, different parts of the world. I would love to find out. Last year I did a post about stockings. And it's amazing. Like, I love going down those rabbit holes, right? About what different countries put in their stockings, what's Christmas dinner, what would you never leave off of Christmas dinner. I've always thought that Christmas cakes, like British Christmas cakes, are quite intriguing. I don't really drink, so you soak them with brandy or whiskey, and so I'm not sure that that's going to work for me, but there we go. I am not mad about that. Oh my God, that's good. Okay, if the pastry turns out, we're going to be in great shape. I might spend the weekend putting that one on the website. Wow, that's so good. I mean, I love cooked onions. So you've got cooked onions in there. You've got the prosciutto. You've got some thyme. You've got some, what else did I put in there? My brain rot. Some garlic. Then the thyme. It also calls for some dry vermouth, okay? Which I think vermouth doesn't have a lot of taste, so I think that would be lovely. I have vermouth, but I cannot reach it in our booze closet. I don't know what, booze cupboard, whatever. We don't drink a lot, so it's above my stove, and I had the stove on, and I couldn't reach the vermouth without burning myself. So there's no vermouth in it, but it does call for that. So I might try it again. So anyway, but yeah, my thyme is going crazy. My basil's going nuts too. All of my herbs are doing really, really well. I have one squash plant. I don't even know what kind of squash it is. It just seems to have come out of nowhere. I know it's squash just by the blossoms, but I'm having blossom after blossom and nothing, no fruit. So I don't know what's going on. And the thing is, it's near my sunflowers, so there's lots of pollinators there. So I'm not sure what's going on with that one. I've got a pumpkin plant that I think is going to make it. I transplanted it. It went nuts. Yeah, I know. I got it. Just so you know, I did get it. But anyway, so, and this weekend, if it doesn't get too blasted hot again, I am going to plant my fall garden. So I've never done that before. I'm kind of excited to try it, see what happens. I've got a list of things that are good for my region that if you plant them now, you'll be able to harvest in the fall. So we'll see if it works. My spring and summer garden has not been the greatest. I had 8 stalks of corn and something ate every single one of them at different stages. So that stinks. My tomatoes are not going like they normally do, which is bizarre because that's usually the one thing I can grow no problem. I'm in the Midwest. Midwest tomatoes are a thing. Now I do have some heirlooms that finally I have tomatoes that are about that big, and they're still, very green. But so I do not have a favorite eggnog recipe. So again, because I don't drink mostly, but I know so many people who love eggnog. So if I could find one that I liked, I'd love to give that a shot. So I got about 1 more minute, and then I think those will be done. I have to see. I'm going to peek at them, see if I can pull them out a little early, maybe. And it was interesting watching the, I'm going to wait just a minute, but it was interesting watching or looking at all the different recipes, how some said you needed to leave it in there and let it cool completely. Others said, get it out of there, put it on a platter right away. So I'm not really sure which one's right. We're going to figure that out for this particular recipe. And again, for anybody who might be new, that's the kind of stuff we do here. We do experiments, we try new things, and we see how it works out. Sometimes it works out beautifully. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I like it, and other people don't. Sometimes I don't like it, and other people do. So you just never know. But like I said, my favorite one this week was what's the Skyline smash burger tacos, and none of us thought the tacos were the greatest thing. But like I said, my husband said, if you make this as a burger, I could eat this every week. So there you go. I'll take that, right? That's a lovely compliment. That one I need. It's not too hot, but I just kind of want to get things out of the way so we can plate up, have a little bite, and move on with our day, right? So thank you guys for coming. If you were here and you left and you came back, thank you so much for coming back. If you came in late, I had issues because IT guy is probably has already flown overhead, but we had to take him to Columbus this morning. He flew out with his oldest brother. They're going to travel together because we need to get my daughter-in-law to see her sister, who is very, very sick. So, and she just had surgery herself, so she can't travel by air. So I want to make sure I make that clear that is why they're not flying, is because she's literally not allowed. She had surgery on her ankle. She had her stitches removed yesterday. So we got everybody set up to get out there, and then they will leave tomorrow morning. So crazy business. So, you know what? I would love to have all of you over. Seriously, I would love it. It would make my day. Okay, so here we go. Here's the finished product, y'all. Oh, nice. I've remembered to get a plate, a real one. I know, I forget that. If you're around here, again, if you're a regular, I forget that all the time. So I am going to try pulling a couple of them out. Ha, they held their shape. We're going to call that that's a bonus. So I'm going to pull out like 3 of these maybe. All right, should we do the Great British Bake Off thing? Whoop, not a soggy bottom. They're really delicate though. And this, yeah, the bottoms are cooked. So I'm excited about that. And I'm going to try one. I'm going to try one without, but I'm also going to try one with this wonderful little dressing. I won't put a lot on. My husband will. Oh, he'll love me. He gets to, because I got some on there, he gets to wash that again, unless it comes right off. Came right off. So there you go. The other thing you could do, just to make them a little prettier, you could put some little chives on top. But there's my fork that I got out. Never mind. Okay, here's the thing. Anybody else have ADHD and always need the small fork, not the big one? If you can get it. So here we go. I'm also wondering if you could like make the pastry shells in advance. You know, like maybe make those one day and then make the rest of it the next day. So wow. A lot of really good flavors. Yep, you need a small spoon too. Small fork, small spoon. Oh, this is you can use sour cream. I use Greek yogurt. And it's also got mayonnaise and horseradish in it. It called for a little honey. I don't think it needs it. Okay, the pastry is really delicate. But with all the sauce and the juice, like I said, gluten-free pastry in particular tends to be really dry. And on its own, it might be, but with everything that's in it, not dry at all. And then I'm going to try try it with the sauce. Got a little piece of something stuck in my throat. Hang on. Um,